There comes a moment, maybe you've felt it, when chasing money starts to feel like trying to catch wind with bare hands. You work harder, push more, sacrifice sleep, joy, even self-worth, and still, money feels distant, slippery, conditional. This book begins in that moment, that breaking point. But it's not a book about budgeting tips or financial hacks. It's about waking up to a deeper truth. Money is not just physical, it's energetic. You don't have to hustle harder. You have to vibrate higher. Every chapter you're about to hear is designed to help you unlearn what's kept you broke, small, and stuck, and tune into the frequency of abundance that's already available to you. This is a journey of energetic wealth, a shift in mindset, emotion, and identity. And it all begins now. Let's raise your frequency. Let's remember what's been buried. Because money doesn't come to who's worthy. It comes to who's aligned. Welcome to Money is Energy. Written and published by Mindful Literary. The moment it changed. Money isn't just earned. It's attracted. It's energetic. It's funny how life can turn on a dime. One moment, I was climbing the corporate ladder, hustling day in and day out to secure my financial future. And the next, I found myself staring at an empty bank account, drowning in bills and a tidal wave of anxiety. The feeling of being overwhelmed washed over me like an unrelenting tide, suffocating and heavy. Days blurred into nights, filled with thoughts of how I was going to dig myself out of this abyss. I became frustrated, snapping at loved ones, and retreating into the shadows of my own mind. The joy I once found in my work faded, replaced by a sense of desperation and fatigue. I was tired of chasing after elusive dreams, hunting for opportunities that seemed to slip through my fingers no matter how tightly I held on. The societal pressures to succeed only compounded my feelings of inadequacy. I was chasing money instead of allowing it to flow into my life. Each failure to meet my financial obligations seemed to echo in my chest like a drumbeat of despair, chanting phrases of defeat that echoed louder than any hopeful thought. But in the eye of this storm, a small flicker of awareness began to break through the chaos. It happened one quiet evening as I sat hunched over my laptop, crunching numbers well into the night. I paused, staring blankly at the screen, my heart racing. That's when it dawned on me. Money isn't just a product of hard work. It's a force that dances in alignment with our energy. This was a moment of realization that felt like sunlight pouring into a dark room previously steeped in shadow. Could it be that I was approaching money all wrong? Instead of chasing it, what if I sought to attract it? Instead of pushing through every obstacle with sheer willpower, I could instead shift my mindset, align my energy, and create a magnetic pull that drew financial abundance toward me. This realization sparked curiosity within me about the nature of money itself and how our emotions and beliefs could shape our reality. I ventured down a new path, one where the energy of gratitude and abundance replaced the fear and frustration that had been my constant companions. I started to visualize what financial freedom looked like for me, not just envisioning numbers in my bank account, but feeling the weight lift off my shoulders and the warmth of security wash over me. I practiced mindfulness, celebrating small victories, and finding joy in what I already had. This transition took time, but it became clear that the essence of attracting money lay in my ability to shift my focus from scarcity to abundance. I learned that the universe responds to our energy, and when we align our thoughts and feelings with a sense of worthiness and gratitude, we open doors to possibilities we never imagined. The journey toward financial wellness transformed from a relentless chase into a harmonious flow of attraction, allowing money to find its way into my life naturally. Chapter 1. What if everything you've learned about money is wrong? The societal programming around hard work equals money. The world often tells us that hard work and making money go hand in hand, creating an unspoken contract that seems impossible to challenge. It begins in our childhood, where we hear phrases like money doesn't grow on trees and you have to earn your keep. These messages instill not just an idea, but a deeply rooted belief that our self-worth is tied to our productivity and financial success. Personally, I felt this programming seep into my life, convincing me that long hours and ceaseless hustle were the only paths to a fulfilling life. We find ourselves in a relentless cycle, trading time and energy for currency, often at the expense of our well-being and happiness. It's as if we become cogs in a machine that prizes only output over holistic richness. However, beneath this societal conditioning lies a truth that begs to be unearthed. Work doesn't inherently equal value. nor does it guarantee financial reward. A practical step to initiate this mindset shift is to regularly reflect on what truly brings you joy outside of monetary gain. Set aside moments to engage in activities that light up your spirit, whether it's painting, volunteering, or simply spending time in nature. By prioritizing these experiences, you create a new definition of wealth, one that nourishes your soul and expands your understanding of what it means to live a rich life, far beyond the confines of financial success. How scarcity is inherited, not just created. Financial scarcity isn't just a product of circumstances. It can be woven into the very fabric of our family lineage. As I delve into my own experiences and observe the lives around me, I see patterns emerge that are both complicated and profound. Our parents, grandparents, and even ancestors beyond them have shaped our beliefs about money, often unconsciously passing down fears, limitations, and mindsets surrounding scarcity. The stories of struggle and hardship can linger like shadows, casting doubt on our own potential to thrive. It's fascinating to consider that these inherited beliefs, much like genetic traits, can manifest in our behaviors and choices. When I learned about my grandmother's struggles during the Great Depression, I began to understand how her scarcity mindset influenced my father's approach to finances and subsequently my own. The cycle continues, unless we consciously choose to break free from it. Recognizing these inherited patterns of thought is the first step toward liberation. It often starts with self-reflection, a gentle yet firm examination of our beliefs about wealth and worthiness. I found it helpful to journal about my feelings related to money, exploring the roots of those beliefs and where they may have come from. By identifying moments of fear or lack, I was able to trace these feelings back to their sources, moments shared within my family that shaped our collective mindset. Next comes awareness, the simple act of noticing when scarcity thinking crops up. It can be as subtle as a twinge of anxiety when faced with financial decisions or a reluctance to pursue opportunities due to fear of failure. Techniques such as meditation and affirmations can be powerful tools for shifting this mindset. I've embraced daily practices that remind me of abundance, welcoming new perspectives into my life. Learning to visualize success and embracing a mindset of plenty felt like shedding the heavy cloak of scarcity that had been inherited over generations. The key lies in nurturing the belief that abundance is not just for the few, but is available to all of us. As you embark on this journey of unlearning and relearning, remember that change is not only possible, it's essential for breaking the cycle of inherited scarcity mentality. Being aware of these inherited forces allows for the reprogramming of our attitudes towards money, creating a ripple effect not just for ourselves, but for future generations. Begin to practice gratitude for what you currently have, however small it may seem. This fosters a sense of abundance within you that can counteract inherited scarcity thinking. Why changing your money situation starts with changing your state. Our relationship with money is deeply intertwined with our emotional state. Think about it. How often have you felt anxious or stressed about your finances? This worry can manifest in our actions, often leading to poor decision-making and a cycle of scarcity. When we approach money from a place of fear or lack, we inadvertently invite more of that energy into our lives. It's not just about the numbers in our bank accounts. It's about the feelings we associate with them. When I began to understand this connection, everything changed for me. I realized that my mindset had the power to shift my financial reality. The moment I began to nurture a positive, abundant mindset, I started attracting opportunities one had never noticed before. It's like putting on a new set of glasses. Suddenly, the world appeared different, full of possibilities rather than limitations. Shifting from a mindset of lack to one of abundance doesn't require a giant leap. It can start with small, intentional changes. One practical step is to practice gratitude daily. Each morning, I take a moment to list 3 things I'm grateful for, and this simple act transforms my outlook. Rather than focusing on what I don't have, I celebrate what I do have. This practice aligns my energy with abundance and attracts more positive outcomes in my financial life. Additionally, surrounding ourselves with positivity, be it through uplifting conversations, inspiring books, or even affirmations, can nurture a fertile ground for financial growth. Remember, our thoughts are like seeds. What we choose to plant in our minds will grow. When I began to consciously fill my mind with abundant ideas and inspirational stories, I noticed remarkable changes in my financial reality. It's not always easy to maintain this mindset, but integrating these practices into my daily life has been a game changer, turning dreams into tangible achievements. One practical tip that has served me well is to set clear intentions for what I want financially. It's essential to articulate my goals, be it saving a specific amount, investing in something that excites me, or simply being open to new opportunities. When I set these intentions, I align my emotional state and actions towards those goals, making it easier to notice the steps I can take and the resources available to me. Remember, financial transformation begins within. The more I work on elevating my emotional state, the more aligned my financial reality becomes with my true desires. This journey is ongoing, a continuous dance between my mindset and my money, but every step brings me closer to the vibrant financial life I aspire to live. Chapter 2. Money is energy, the universal truth. What does it mean that money is energy? Money is often seen as just the bills in our pockets or the numbers in our bank accounts, but when we delve deeper, we can understand it as a form of energy. Money flows, moves, and interacts with us, much like the currents in a river. This energy influences our actions, decisions, and even our emotions. When we think of money as energy, we start to recognize how it connects us to people, experiences, and opportunities. Everything we purchase or invest in emits a certain vibration or frequency, and each exchange creates ripples in the energy field around us. In this sense, money is a tool that reflects the value we give to our time, skills, and resources, acting as a bridge between our inner world and the external reality we navigate. To truly grasp the energy of money, we need to shift our perception. Viewing money solely as currency limits its potential impact on our lives. Instead, consider it a powerful force that can facilitate change and create connections. When I began to see money this way, everything changed. I stopped seeing it as a scarcity that I had to chase after, and instead started to view it as a flowing energy that could be attracted and directed. This mindset shift has allowed me to engage with money more playfully and purposefully. It's about aligning our intentions with how we use this energy. Whether we're investing in our passions, helping others, or creating experiences, money becomes a vehicle for expressing our values and dreams. We can transform our relationship with money from one of fear and lack to one of abundance and love, recognizing that it's not just about what we possess, but how we can use what we have to uplift ourselves and others. As a practical tip, consider keeping a gratitude journal focused on your financial experiences. Write down not just what you spend or earn, but how each transaction makes you feel and the energy it brings into your life. This practice can help you cultivate a deeper appreciation for money as energy, enhancing your ability to attract and engage with it positively. Everything is vibration, so is wealth. The universe operates on frequencies, and everything around us, including wealth, emits vibrations. When we say that wealth is a vibration, we mean that it exists on a specific frequency that is influenced by our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Imagine standing before a radio, tuning it to find the perfect station. Just like the music you hear becomes clearer when you adjust the dial to the right frequency, the same principle applies to attracting wealth. Our emotions and thoughts serve as the dials that tune our personal frequency, shaping the reality we experience. If you feel lack or unworthiness, you might find yourself vibrating at a frequency that attracts scarcity instead of abundance. Recognizing that wealth is not solely a physical component, but rather an energetic one opens doors to a deeper understanding of our interaction with the world. To align with abundance, we must elevate our vibrational state. This can begin with small shifts in our daily routine. Practices such as meditation and gratitude effectively raise our vibrational energy. When we meditate, we quiet the mind and connect with the essence of who we are, tapping into a frequency where abundance flows freely. Gratitude amplifies positive feelings, allowing us to focus on what we already have rather than what we lack. Visualizing our desired wealth, whether it's financial stability, a fulfilling career, or meaningful relationships, can also help align us with those higher frequencies. By taking actionable steps, such as engaging in activities that make us feel good and surround ourselves with positive energy, we can elevate our vibration, making it easier to attract the wealth and abundance that we desire. As you explore your own vibrational frequency, remember that small shifts can lead to significant changes. Each day, set the intention to consciously tune into feelings of abundance and gratitude. Write down 3 things you appreciate in your life, or take a few moments to close your eyes and visualize your goals as if they are already a reality. It's not just about thinking positively, it's about feeling those vibrations throughout your being. The more you practice these techniques, the more aligned you will become with the luxurious flow of life's riches. Integrating these practices into your life can create a magnetic energy that draws wealth closer to you. The energetic laws of giving, receiving, and circulating. Understanding the flow of abundance begins with recognizing that money is not just currency, it is energy. This energy is constantly in motion, influenced by our willingness to both give and receive. When I think about the times when I felt stuck financially, it often boiled down to a blockage in this flow. Reflecting on those moments, I realized that I was holding on too tightly, either to my money or to the idea that I didn't deserve to receive prosperity. The truth is, everything in life works in cycles, much like nature. The changing of the seasons teaches us that there is a time for planting, nurturing, and harvesting. Similarly, in our financial lives, we must learn to give generously when we can and to be open to receiving without hesitation when the universe offers us gifts. This delicate dance between giving and receiving is essential in fostering abundance. When I began to embrace the concept of reciprocity, my financial situation transformed. I learned to view giving as an investment in the energetic ecosystem of my life. Donations, helpful gestures, or sharing my resources didn't deplete me. Instead, they released a wave of positive energy that came back to me in various forms. The more I gave, the more I found myself attracting opportunities, connections, and wealth. By understanding that giving breathes life into receiving, I learned to let go of the fear that there wouldn't be enough sunlight for my own garden. Instead, I cultivated an atmosphere of abundance, both for myself and those around me. This shift in perspective made all the difference. Money began to circulate freely instead of being hoarded, fostering a buoyancy in my life that I never anticipated. To ensure a continuous circulation of wealth in our lives, we need to start with the mindset that embraces abundance at its core. One strategy that I have found particularly effective is to regularly assess my relationship with money. Intentionally setting aside time to reflect on my spending habits, my generosity, and my receptiveness to wealth can be transformative. I ask myself questions like, am I supporting local businesses? Or am I investing in experiences that enrich my soul? These reflections often lead to powerful insights and actionable strategies to enhance my financial flow. Another impactful strategy is creating a ritual of gratitude for the money that flows into my life. Whether it's a paycheck or a windfall, acknowledging and appreciating these resources sends a clear message to the universe that I am open to receiving more. At the same time, I try to visualize the money I spend as a way to spread positivity and support for others. This practice encourages me to be mindful about where and how I direct my funds, often leading me to invest in things that align with my values or support my community. When I see my investments as a way to circulate abundance rather than simply drain it, the energetic exchange naturally opens up paths for more wealth to return to me. Lastly, surrounding myself with like-minded individuals who inspire me to share and celebrate wealth has been invaluable. By creating a community focused on collaboration and upliftment, I cultivate an environment where circulating abundance feels effortless. We share resources, support each other's ventures, and celebrate collective successes, reinforcing the idea that we rise together. Remember, every small action contributes to a larger cycle of energy. When we actively engage in the cycle of giving, receiving, and circulating, we invite a wealth of possibilities into our lives. Reflect on how you can embody these principles daily, and you're likely to notice the flow of abundance enriching not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Chapter 3. The Frequency of Abundance. Why some people attract money effortlessly while others struggle. People who attract money effortlessly often embody an abundance mindset. They believe there is enough wealth and success for everyone. This mindset isn't merely a pleasant thought. It influences their actions and decisions every day. When I started noticing how certain individuals navigated their financial lives, I realized they didn't just focus on what they could gain, but also on what they could give. They operated from a place of generosity and faith, knowing that their contributions created ripples of opportunity. This perspective allows them to see potential where others see limits. Instead of worrying about how to make ends meet, They ask themselves how they can expand their resources and create value for others. The richest insights often come from questioning, what can I share? How can I serve? When this abundance mindset becomes second nature, money flows to those who embody this energy. On the flip side, many struggle with money due to invisible barriers that lurk deep within their subconscious. These barriers can manifest as limiting beliefs, fears, or even guilt tied to wealth. I've encountered individuals who associate money with greed or who feel undeserving of success. It's fascinating, really. They may be unconsciously sabotaging opportunities. Such patterns often stem from childhood experiences, societal messages, or cultural conditioning that teaches us money is scarce or that wanting wealth is wrong. This internal dialogue creates a barrier to abundance that can be so deeply ingrained that we don't even realize it's there. I've witnessed how transformative it can be when someone begins to confront these beliefs. By shining a light on these thoughts and reframing our relationship with money, we can dismantle the barriers that have kept us from achieving financial freedom. It takes patience and persistence, but recognizing and addressing these blocks is essential to transforming our financial lives. A practical tip for anyone looking to shift their financial mindset is to take a moment each day to practice gratitude for what you have right now. A simple exercise is to write down 3 things you are grateful for that relate to abundance in your life, whether it's a job, a supportive friend, or even just the resources you have at your disposal. This practice begins to cultivate an abundance mindset, inviting more wealth into your experience. Identifying your current money frequency. Understanding my money frequency has been a transformative journey, and I invite you to reflect on your own relationship with money. One effective tool is journaling. By spending some time writing about how you feel regarding money, whether it brings you stress or joy, you begin to uncover deep-seated beliefs and patterns that may be affecting your financial well-being. Ask yourself questions like, what messages did I receive about money growing up? Or, how do I react emotionally when I think about my finances? These reflections can bring clarity to areas you might want to change. I also found visualization exercises to be incredibly helpful. Picture yourself living in abundance, free from financial concerns. Imagine what that life looks like, what you're doing, who you're with, and how it feels in your body. Creating a vision board with images and words that resonate with your financial aspirations serves as a powerful reminder of your goals, anchoring them in your daily reality. Once I started to identify my current frequency, the next step was mapping out a plan for change. Creating a chart can be a simple yet highly effective way to visualize this transition. I began by listing my current beliefs about money on one side, and then contrasting them with the beliefs that align with abundance on the other. For example, I might have written, money is hard to come by, and replaced that with I attract money effortlessly. This exercise helped me shift my mindset and recognize the power of my thoughts. The next stage involves setting actionable goals. Rather than vague resolutions like, I want to save more, I became specific, determining a percentage of my income to save each month and exploring options for investment. This clarity transformed my intentions into clear actions. It drew a tangible roadmap that steered me in an abundant direction. I also embraced affirmations, repeating phrases that empowered my financial journey, such as, I am deserving of financial freedom. Each affirmation reprogrammed my subconscious, reinforcing a mindset of abundance. An important tip I've found useful is to celebrate small wins along the way. Each time you reach a financial goal or change a negative belief, take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate it. This builds positive momentum, solidifying your new money frequency. By continually assessing my relationship with money, visualizing abundance, and taking consistent actions, I've managed to incrementally shift my financial reality, turning aspirations into attainable outcomes. Upgrading your vibration, gratitude, worthiness, and expansion. Gratitude is more than just an expression. It's a powerful force that can shift our energies and frequencies. When I consciously choose to embrace a grateful state, I feel an immediate elevation in my vibration. This isn't just about saying thank you for the good things in my life. It's about adopting a mindset that recognizes and appreciates even the smallest blessings. The more I practice gratitude, the easier it becomes to notice opportunities around me. It's like a lens that sharpens my vision, allowing me to see the wealth of possibilities that exist even in the mundane. When I reflect on what I am thankful for, I not only attract more positivity, but also vibrate at a frequency that resonates with abundance. Each gratitude practice I engage in acts as a magnet for wealth. I've discovered that writing down what I'm grateful for each day has a profound impact on my emotional state. It seems to open up pathways I didn't notice before, drawing financial opportunities and fruitful connections into my life. It also reprograms my mind slowly but surely to expect good things rather than dwell on lack. Shifting my focus from what I don't have to the abundance that is all around me allows me to elevate my wealth frequency. As I sit in gratitude, I can feel that my vibration rises, creating a space where financial prosperity can flow freely. The belief in my own worthiness deeply influences the quality of experiences I attract. Learning to embrace my worth has been a journey, filled with both challenges and enlightening discoveries. The truth is, when I recognize my value, I naturally draw in better financial opportunities. I began by practicing affirmations that chip away at the negative narratives I had internalized for years. Phrases like, "I am deserving of abundance," or "I attract wealth with ease" shifted my mindset remarkably. Grounded techniques like visualizing the life I desire have also played a key role in this process. When I imagine myself enjoying financial freedom, I can almost feel it. This visualization reinforces the idea that I deserve to have it in my reality. Each time I acknowledge my worth, I become more open to receiving, allowing the universe to deliver new financial opportunities. It's as if I'm giving myself permission to step into a higher version of myself, where abundance flows freely. In moments of doubt, I remind myself to reflect on my past achievements and the resilience I've built, refueling my self-worth and opening doors to new possibilities. Incorporating simple yet impactful techniques into my daily routine can enhance my sense of worthiness and attract greater financial prospects. Taking a moment to appreciate my skills, recognizing my successes, and compassionately addressing my inner critic can have a lasting impact. Each step towards embracing my worth solidifies my capacity to receive and create opportunities that align with my highest potential. Chapter 4. Scarcity is a Story, Rewriting Your Wealth Identity. Childhood Money Wounds and Family Narratives. Throughout my life, I've often found myself reflecting on the concept of money. It wasn't until I dug deep into my childhood that I realized how profoundly my early experiences informed my beliefs about wealth. Growing up, conversations about money were steeped in tension and worry. I vividly remember the hushed tones my parents used when discussing bills, the way they would shift uncomfortably when a financial topic arose at family gatherings. That atmosphere of scarcity created an underlying belief that money was something to be feared, something that could slip through our fingers without warning. It's fascinating how these initial interactions can plant seeds that grow into our adult attitudes. I developed a deep-seated anxiety about spending, often feeling that indulging even the smallest desire would lead to financial ruin. The thought of financial security became synonymous with survival in my mind, shaping not just how I managed money, but influencing my overall relationship with abundance. I began to realize that many of us carry these childhood narratives into adulthood, unknowingly living within the confines of early teachings about scarcity. Those stories, a parent's struggle, a time of need, get woven into the very fabric of our existence, turning into subconscious scripts that dictate our decision-making regarding finances. Recognizing these limiting beliefs is just the first step. The real transformation begins when we confront and heal these old stories. I found that rewriting my narrative involved a conscious effort to engage with my past and reshape the way I viewed money. One effective method I employed was journaling about my childhood memories related to wealth. Reflecting on those early experiences allowed me to externalize feelings of fear and scarcity, providing clarity to realize they were not my truth as an adult. I began to see money differently, not as a source of stress, but as a tool for freedom and expression. Another powerful method involves visualization exercises. I would sit quietly, close my eyes, and picture my relationship with money as a living entity. By imagining a conversation with this entity, I could express my fears and insecurities. Over time, this practice helped me forge a new connection with money, one rooted in openness and abundance rather than fear and lack. As I let go of old stories, I noticed a shift in my reality. I became more open to receiving and creating wealth, understanding that financial abundance isn't merely a dream, but a tangible possibility waiting to be embraced. To further cultivate this new relationship, I began to practice gratitude, thanking money for its role in my life and celebrating the abundance I already had. This simple act shifted my perspective from one of scarcity to one of appreciation and potential. The wealth I once feared became something I actively welcomed. It's powerful to recognize that we have the ability to rewrite our stories, transforming our relationship with money into one that feels empowering and positive. Start small. Reflect on your childhood beliefs about money and consider writing them down. A simple act of acknowledgement can begin the healing process. How shame, guilt, and fear repel abundance. Shame, guilt, and fear can act as invisible chains that hold us back from achieving financial abundance. These emotions often seep into our thoughts and shape our beliefs about money. When I first began to explore my feelings around wealth, I was surprised to uncover how deep-rooted these emotions were in my own life. Shame arose from past financial mistakes, guilt was tied to wanting more than I thought I deserved, and fear loomed over my financial ambitions, whispering doubts that kept me from taking necessary risks. Recognizing these feelings was my first step toward understanding how they were blocking the natural flow of financial prosperity. By acknowledging that shame isn't just a personal flaw or weakness, but a common human experience, I began to disentangle my self-worth from my financial situation. This realization allowed me to see that my emotions were merely reflections of my past and not dictations of my future. Letting go of these toxic emotions is crucial for inviting abundance into our lives. One powerful strategy one discovered was the practice of mindfulness. By sitting in meditation and focusing on my breath, I learned to observe my emotions without judgment. This simple act transformed my relationship with guilt and fear, allowing me to acknowledge their presence without letting them dictate my actions. Journaling also played an essential role in my emotional release. Writing about my feelings around money helped me articulate and confront them head-on. I started to question the stories I was telling myself. Why did I feel guilty for wanting a luxurious life? Why was I afraid of financial success? With each pen stroke, I unraveled the weight of these beliefs. Surrounding myself with a supportive community, whether through workshops or conversations with trusted friends, also became invaluable. Sharing my fears and shame in a safe space not only lightened my emotional load, but also illuminated the fact that I was not alone. As I gradually shed these toxic emotions, I found myself more open to opportunities and capable of receiving financial abundance. As you reflect on your own relationship with money, consider integrating daily moments of mindfulness and self-reflection into your routine. By doing so, you may begin to identify and release the emotional barriers that have held you back, preparing the way for a more abundant financial life. Creating your new money story with intention and clarity. Creating a new money story begins with envisioning what wealth truly means to us. It's not just about numbers in a bank account or possessions. It's about the feelings and experiences that money can bring. When I think about my financial journey, I recall moments of both struggle and abundance, and I realize that each experience contributed to my evolving narrative. To craft a positive financial narrative, I found it essential to visualize my ideal life with clarity and intention. Instead of focusing on a vague desire for wealth, I pictured specific scenarios that represented abundance to me. Perhaps it's a sense of security, the freedom to travel, or the joy of giving back to my community. The more vividly I could see these scenarios in my mind's eye, the more real they became. Techniques like meditation and journaling can be powerful allies in this process. Sitting quietly, I often envision my dreams, allowing feelings of gratitude and excitement to wash over me. Journal prompts can help, such as asking myself what a day in my wealthy life looks like, or how financial freedom makes me feel. Writing these visions down not only clarifies my intentions, but also serves as a touchstone to return to whenever doubt creeps in. Once I had a clear vision of my desired financial reality, the next step was to bring that vision into existence through intention. Manifestation is more than just wishing and hoping. It's about aligning my actions with my beliefs. I started by setting specific financial goals that resonated with my vision. This could be saving a certain amount each month or investing in opportunities that excite me. But it wasn't merely about the numbers. It was about understanding the emotional connection to these goals. I found it helpful to envision each goal not just as a destination, but as a stepping stone toward a more abundant life. Affirmations became a daily ritual for me. I would recite phrases like, "I attract wealth effortlessly," and "I am worthy of financial abundance." These affirmations shifted my mindset, helping me to view opportunities instead of obstacles. Additionally, surrounding myself with supportive, like-minded individuals nurtured my journey. Whether it was discussions with friends or joining communities that uplifted my financial aspirations, the energy around me helped reinforce my intention. Practical steps must accompany these affirmations. I began tracking my expenses, reevaluating my budget, and making choices that aligned with my financial goals. Each small step felt like a win, fortifying my commitment to my new money story. As I navigated this process, one key lesson emerged: patience and trust in the unfolding journey are crucial. Financial change doesn't happen overnight, but continued alignment of my thoughts and actions lays the groundwork for the abundant life I envisioned. Each day, I remind myself of the power of intentionality and clarity, knowing that I have the ability to shape my money story into one that reflects my values and aspirations. A practical tip to bear in mind is to celebrate each small success along the way, as these moments reinforce your new narrative and help build momentum towards your ultimate financial goals. Chapter 5. Alignment over hustle. Why doing more isn't always the answer. When we talk about financial success, many often equate it with the sheer hustle: more hours, more tasks, more projects. But here's where I found myself pausing. Is doing more truly leading to fulfillment, or are we just caught in a cycle of relentless action? Through my own experiences, I've learned that quality must take precedence over quantity. The alignment of our goals with our values can illuminate a path that is not just about how much we do, but about how meaningful that work is to who we are. You can be busy and still be completely misaligned with your true purpose. One significant moment for me came when I realized that the frantic pace I was keeping did not yield the rewards I was chasing. I found that while I was stacking projects and commitments, I was losing sight of what truly mattered to me, what brought me joy and fulfillment. Investing time in activities that resonate with my core principles allowed me to nurture deeper connections and cultivate greater satisfaction in my endeavors. It's essential to pause, reflect, and assess if what we're pouring our energy into truly aligns with our intentions. This clarity not only brings about higher quality outcomes, but also creates space to celebrate success in smaller, yet profoundly impactful ways. We live in a culture that glamorizes the hustle. The idea that grinding endlessly is the golden ticket to success is a pervasive myth that I've faced head-on. For far too long, I adhered to the belief that if I just worked harder, if I simply put in more hours, my dreams would materialize. Yet over the years, I've learned that effort alone isn't a direct line to rewards. There is so much more at play, including timing, opportunity, and sometimes just sheer luck. This relentless pursuit can be draining, creating a false sense of accomplishment while keeping us tied to an exhausting treadmill. It wasn't until I embraced a less frantic approach that I began to see a shift. By focusing on intentional work, I cultivated spaces where creativity and inspiration thrived, where moments of stillness brought clarity. I realized that taking time to rest and reflect allowed my mind to align with my goals in ways that sheer effort never could. We must understand that meaningful achievements often come from a place of balance, where spirit and strategy intersect. It is crucial to reframe our understanding of success, shifting from a mindset of doing more to one of being more, emphasizing the richness of the journey rather than merely the product. As you navigate your own path, remember to prioritize alignment and discernment over the hustle. Always ask yourself, does this effort deepen my connection to my purpose? If not, it might be time to reevaluate where you're pouring your energy. Embracing this mindset can lead to a more fulfilling and balanced approach to your pursuits. Synchronicity, inspired action, and energetic ease. When I think about synchronicity, I see it as the universe's way of tapping me on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, pay attention." It's like a gentle nudge that aligns perfectly with my path. These moments of synchronicity aren't random. They often show up when I least expect them, guiding me toward inspired action. For instance, I might be pondering a decision and suddenly hear someone mention a solution that resonates. It's as though the universe is weaving together threads of my thoughts and experiences to create a tapestry that guides me forward. Recognizing these moments requires a certain awareness, a willingness to be present and open to the signs around me. Have you ever felt that sudden urge to call a friend, only to find out they needed you at that very moment? That's synchronicity at play, showing us that our intuition and those divine nudges can lead to meaningful connections and actions. Finding ease is a journey that involves creating a nurturing space for ourselves. When action flows naturally, it feels less like pushing a boulder uphill and more like gliding on a gentle breeze. I've learned that energetic ease comes from aligning my intentions with my actions. If I'm doing things simply out of obligation, it feels heavy and burdensome. But when I tap into my passions and interests, everything shifts. Even simple tasks can transform into fulfilling experiences when approached with the right mindset. I find that cultivating a space of ease means listening to my body, honoring my intuition, and often taking a moment to breathe before diving in. This practice allows me to step back and assess whether an action truly resonates with me. As I move through my day, I strive to cultivate moments where every step feels rewarding, and this often leads to unexpected joy and creativity. Embracing this flow allows me to navigate life with grace and intention, where inspired action becomes a natural part of my journey. To foster this sense of synchronicity and ease, try setting time aside each day for mindfulness. This could be a quiet moment to reflect or journal about your experiences. Ask yourself if the actions you're considering are aligned with your true self. The more you engage in this practice, the more you'll find those magical moments of connection and clarity guiding you forward. Trusting the invisible, where spiritual wisdom meets strategy. Trusting our intuition can feel like stepping into a vast, uncharted territory, especially when it comes to money. Too often, we are conditioned to rely solely on spreadsheets, forecasts, and expert advice, but there exists a deeper wisdom within us waiting to be honored. This isn't about forsaking the practical strategies of financial planning, but rather about weaving those strategies seamlessly with our intuitive insights. When I began to pay attention to the whisperings of my inner voice, I discovered that it often pointed me toward opportunities one would have otherwise overlooked. In those moments, the gut feelings I had about certain investments or financial moves helped guide me, lending a certain grace to the hard numbers I was working with. It's as if intuition acts like a compass, helping you make sense of the sometimes mercurial nature of money management. By balancing these two forces, trust in our instinct and trust in the practical institutions of finance, we create a more holistic approach to our financial well-being. Navigating financial decisions can feel overwhelming, yet incorporating spiritual insights can transform how we experience this journey. Spiritual wisdom invites us to view our financial resources as an extension of our values and purpose rather than isolated data points. When I started observing financial matters through this lens, I realized that every dollar spent or saved tells a story. It connects to our beliefs about abundance, worth, and even our relationship with ourselves and others. Spending mindfully means not just considering the price tag, but also reflecting on how each expense aligns with our deeper values. In my experience, when I align my finances with my spiritual beliefs, decisions become clearer and the anxiety surrounding them fades. I began to ask myself, how does this purchase enhance my life or the lives of others? This question often led me toward choices that felt resonant and nourishing, rather than merely transactional. Understanding financial decisions through embodied wisdom helps anchor us, allowing us to cultivate trust in the unseen paths guiding us toward prosperity. Trusting the invisible aspect of our financial journeys requires us to embrace the unknown and to remain open to the lessons that unfold. One practical tip to maintain this balance is to create a simple practice of reflection during your financial planning. Set aside a few minutes each week to sit quietly and check in with your feelings about your finances. Journal your thoughts, pay attention to the emotions that arise, and notice any intuitive nudges that come up. This practice not only grounds you in your financial insights, but also serves as a reminder of the beautiful interplay between strategy and intuition. Chapter 6. Wealth loves a clear container. Creating space for money to land. Creating space is not just about clearing out the clutter in your physical surroundings. It's also about making room in your mind and spirit. I remember the moment I decided to declutter my life. It wasn't just about throwing away items I no longer needed. It felt like peeling away layers of accumulated stress, worry, and doubt. Every item I released was a step toward clarity and openness. As I organized my space, I noticed how light and free I felt. Questions lingered in my mind about how much unnecessary baggage I had been carrying. When I cleared away the physical clutter, it became easier for me to let go of mental clutter. It wasn't just about getting rid of things, but creating an energetic transformation that invited abundance into my life. This transformation extends beyond the tangible. Mental decluttering involves identifying beliefs and thoughts that no longer serve us. Fear, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs can take up as much space as unused material items. I started to embrace practices like meditation and journaling, which helped me to process my thoughts and release negative patterns. By letting go of these burdens, I created an inner sanctuary that felt welcoming to new possibilities. As I established this serene mental space, it became clearer what I desired in life. More than just wealth, but a profound sense of fulfillment. Abundance is not just about financial gain. It encompasses emotional and spiritual wealth. When we physically and mentally declutter, we signal to the universe that we are ready to receive and welcome all forms of abundance. Once I cleared my space, the next step was to set intentions with clarity. I realized that simply wanting more money wasn't enough. I began to define what wealth really meant to me. It became essential to understand my values and goals before I could align my actions with them. This clarity served as my compass, guiding me toward genuine wealth that resonated with my spirit. I would often sit in quiet reflection, writing down my intentions in a journal, imagining what achieving those goals would feel like. It was an enlightening experience to articulate not just the material aspects, but also how I wanted to feel, secure, free, and fulfilled. The practice of writing these intentions down transformed them into commitments I could nurture. Intentions are powerful energy sources when infused with emotion and purpose. I learned to visualize my goals in vivid detail, feeling the excitement as though they had already manifest. This combination of clear intentions and emotional energy created a magnetic pull, attracting opportunities and resources aligned with my dreams. Surrounding myself with imagery that resonated with my intentions helped keep my focus strong. When challenges arose, I reminded myself of my commitment and the reasons behind my desires. By continually aligning my actions with my intentions, I cultivated a deeper relationship with wealth. Wealth is not something we chase. Rather, it's something we invite into our lives with open arms. If you find yourself feeling stuck or distant from your goals, take a moment to reflect on what intentions truly resonate with you. Write them down, visualize them, and then watch as the universe responds. Creating space for money to land is a journey of growth and transformation. Allowing abundance into our lives requires us to first let go, then invite. One simple yet profound practice is to take a moment each day to clear a small physical space, whether it's your desk or a corner of your room, and gather your thoughts around your intentions. With each piece of clutter you release, affirm your commitment to welcoming wealth and opportunity. Embrace the space you've created, and trust that in doing so, you are opening the door to all the abundance your heart desires. Clarity, systems, and intentional money management. Creating wealth is like nurturing a garden. It requires attentive care and the right systems in place. I've come to realize that organized prosperity is all about setting up solid frameworks. Wealth containers, if you will, that allow abundance to flow in and out without chaos. When I began to understand my finances more deeply, the first step was getting organized. I laid out my financial goals and mapped out the systems I needed to reach them. This meant not just tracking my income and expenses, but also setting up different containers for my money, like savings for emergencies, investments for growth, and funds for experiences that bring joy. Each container had its purpose, and knowing that my money was working hard toward specific goals brings a sense of peace. Think of it as creating a sacred space for your finances, where every dollar has its intention and role. This clarity transformed my chaotic financial landscape into a well-tended garden, where growth felt not only possible, but also sustainable. Once I had my systems in place, the next step was mindfulness in my money management. It's easy to think about finances in a detached, almost clinical way, but I found that connecting with my money on a deeper level made all the difference. I began to approach my financial tracking as a practice of self-awareness rather than a chore. I developed a weekly ritual where I would sit down with my financial records, a warm cup of tea, and clear my mind. This was my time to reflect not just on the numbers, but on my intentions. I asked myself thoughtful questions. Is this expenditure aligned with my values? Am I spending in ways that uplift my spirit? Such mindfulness offered me insights into patterns I had never noticed before. I began to hold myself accountable, not just for my spending, but for the energy and intention behind it. Accountability became a spiritual practice, a way to align my financial habits with my overall mission in life. This intentional style of management infused purpose into my day-to-day choices and transformed the very act of managing my money into a fulfilling journey of growth. As you embark on your own path of financial clarity and intentionality, consider creating a dedicated financial space in your life. Whether it's a digital app tailored to your needs or a simple notebook you keep by your side, having a clear space for tracking can serve as a powerful commitment to your financial well-being. The journey towards conscious money management is not just about wealth accumulation. It's about cultivating a rich experience grounded in awareness and intention. Energetic boundaries. Say no to lack. Say yes to overflow. Establishing boundaries is a vital step toward inviting abundance into your life. When I think about boundaries, I see them as a protective map that defines where my energy and time should flow. It's essential to understand that saying no is not an act of deprivation. Instead, it is an affirmation of what we truly wish to attract. In my experience, deciding what is acceptable and what isn't creates a space where abundance can thrive. I encourage you to sit quietly and reflect on what drains your energy. Is it relationships that feel one-sided? Or perhaps commitments that don't resonate with your true self? By identifying these sources of scarcity, you can articulate your boundaries more clearly, making room for opportunities that reflect your authentic desires. Embracing these limits allows us to shift our mindset from one of lack to one of overflow. When we firmly say no to things that do not serve our higher purpose, we are essentially telling the universe, I am worthy of more. This energetic shift opens pathways for abundance to flow into our lives, reminding us that it's not about what we give up, but about what we invite in. As you navigate setting these boundaries, remember to be compassionate with yourself. It can feel uncomfortable initially, but each boundary you establish is a step toward creating a nurturing environment where your energy can flourish. To truly embody a state of abundance, there are several practices I've found transformative. One exercise I love is visualizing abundance daily. Each morning, I take a moment to close my eyes and imagine myself surrounded by everything I desire: health, love, and spiritual growth. This visualization isn't just wishful thinking. It's about feeling these sensations deeply, allowing them to resonate within me. Make this practice yours by adding details that resonate with your spirit and engaging all your senses. Picture how it would feel, what it would smell like, and even the sounds that would accompany this overflow of abundance. Another exercise is journaling about your gratitude. Instead of merely listing what you're thankful for, write in detail about how these elements contribute to your life's abundance. Explore why you are grateful for each aspect and the positive feelings they bring. This practice shifts your focus from what you lack to the richness you already possess. Additionally, create a vision board that visually represents your dreams and aspirations. Use images, quotes, and symbols that ignite excitement within you. Place this board where you see it daily. It serves as a constant reminder of the overflow you are inviting into your life. Finally, don't forget the power of community. Surround yourself with people who also embrace abundance. Share your aspirations, celebrate each other's victories, and uplift one another. The energy we exchange is incredibly potent. When we amplify each other's dreams, we create a collective overflow that benefits everyone involved. In your journey to embody abundance, prioritize practices that resonate with your spirit, allowing you to carve out a life that not only reflects your boundaries, but also welcomes an endless stream of possibilities. Chapter 7. The Language of Money: Words, Thoughts, Emotions. How language shapes your wealth reality. Language is a fascinating construct. It's not just a means of communication. It's a powerful tool that shapes our experiences and beliefs. Words hold energy. Every time we speak about money, we're either building a bridge to a prosperous reality or constructing barriers that keep us from achieving it. When I think about my financial journey, I can trace significant turning points back to shifts in the language I used, both internally and externally. For instance, replacing phrases like "I can't afford that" with "how can I make this happen?" opens the door to possibilities instead of locking it behind despair. The way we phrase our thoughts and conversations about wealth has a direct impact on our mindset. If our dialogue is riddled with scarcity and fear, our reality is likely to mirror those sentiments. Embracing abundance in our vocabulary creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond mere words. Shifting our language isn't merely a linguistic exercise. It's a profound practice of self-awareness and intention. One effective technique is to start each financial conversation with gratitude. Instead of dwelling on what you lack, focus on what you have, no matter how small. By celebrating your financial blessings, like a steady job or any savings, you create a mindset that attracts more positivity. Another powerful method is visualizing your financial goals and then articulating them clearly and confidently. Imagine saying, "I am a magnet for opportunities," instead of "I hope to get lucky." This subtle shift sets a tone of confidence and assurance. Furthermore, it's essential to be mindful of our thoughts when we're not speaking. The internal dialogue we maintain about our finances influences our outward reality. Journaling about financial aspirations and desires in the present tense can also reinforce this positive shift. As you write, you're essentially crafting a story that aligns with the abundant reality you wish to create. One simple tip to start this transformation is to create affirmations around your wealth. These phrases can act as anchors, reminding you of your value and capacity to attract prosperity. By reciting these affirmations daily, you begin retraining your mind to embrace a wealthier existence. For example, saying, "I deserve to thrive financially," creates a belief that aligns with the universe's abundance, opening pathways to new opportunities. What we speak and internalize is indeed the seed of our future financial reality. Replacing self-sabotaging phrases, "I can't afford it," "I'm broke." Breaking the patterns of our thoughts can often feel like peeling off layers of self-limitation that we didn't even realize were there. Identifying phrases we consistently use, such as "I can't afford it" or "I'm broke," is the first step toward transforming our mindset. These words carry energy and weight. They forge paths in our subconscious, leading us deeper into a scarcity mentality. When I catch myself using these phrases, it's like a little alarm goes off in my mind. I realize that I'm not just stating a fact, I'm reinforcing a belief that can keep me stuck. It's essential to recognize that these phrases are not just descriptive, but rather prescriptive, crafting our reality based on our perception of limitations. By simply becoming aware of when and why we say these things, we initiate the first step towards change. Empowering ourselves means actively replacing these self-sabotaging phrases with affirmations that restore our sense of possibility. For instance, instead of saying "I can't afford it," I might say, "I am open to discovering new financial opportunities," or "I choose to attract abundance into my life." These positive statements are not just hollow mantras. They ground me in a more expansive view of my financial situation. Crafting new, empowering affirmations requires a shift in perspective, where we acknowledge our current circumstances, but also hold the vision of what we want to manifest. By embracing these new statements, we shift our energy toward abundance, welcoming new paths to financial well-being. As we begin to integrate these new affirmations into our daily routine, it can also be incredibly helpful to write them down and display them prominently in our living spaces. This can serve as a continuous reminder that our financial narrative is open for revision. Perhaps a sticky note on the mirror or an updated screensaver on my phone can work wonders in keeping my thoughts aligned with abundance. Every time I find myself slipping back into those old phrases, the act of consciously correcting myself helps rewire my mindset, gently nudging me toward possibilities instead of limitations. In this journey, I have found that nourishing my spirit with positive self-talk invites not just a shift in my finances, but a profound transformation in my overall life experience. Emotional alchemy, using joy and presence to magnetize money. Joy is more than just a fleeting feeling. It's a powerful energy that can transform your reality, especially when it comes to attracting wealth. When I consciously cultivate joy in my life, it's as if I hold an invisible magnet that draws abundance towards me. This magic lies in the vibration that joy emits. It's often said that joy resonates at a higher frequency, creating a harmonious connection with the energy of money. When we're joyful, we naturally radiate confidence and positivity, which are both incredibly attractive qualities. People are drawn to joy, and so is money. The more we embrace moments of happiness, however small, the more we elevate our energetic vibe. It's akin to tuning in to a radio station. When you're aligned with joy, you begin to tune in to the frequency of abundance. Finding joy in everyday moments can be a practice in itself. Whether it's savoring your morning coffee, laughing with a friend, or immersing yourself in nature, these small bursts of joy elevate your overall vibration. As I reflect on my own experiences, I've noticed that on days when I prioritize joy, opportunities flow to me effortlessly. It's as if the universe opens doors I didn't even know existed. The interesting part is that joy doesn't have to be extravagant. It thrives in the simplicity of life. Start to notice what brings you joy and make those experiences a priority. When you become intentional about generating joy, you create a solid foundation for abundance to blossom. Mindfulness, being fully present in the moment, plays a crucial role in our ability to attract wealth. When we are present, we are not consumed by worries about the past or anxieties about the future. I've discovered that practicing mindfulness allows me to connect with my true intentions and aspirations regarding money. Techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, and focused awareness can significantly enhance our financial magnetism. When I take a few moments each day to consciously breathe and center myself, I often uncover insights about my relationship with money that I hadn't noticed before. Dedicating time to quiet my mind clears the clutter and allows me to connect with abundance in a more profound way. I've also found that bringing awareness to my spending habits transforms them from mindless transactions into conscious decisions. Each purchase becomes an opportunity to align with my values, which deepens my respect for money and invites more of it into my life. Mindfulness isn't just about feeling calm. It's empowering and can lead to better financial decisions. When we are aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can adjust them to be more aligned with abundance. Try incorporating short mindfulness exercises throughout your day. Whether it's taking a moment to appreciate the beauty around you or simply pausing to feel gratitude for what you already have. This practice of being present creates a vibrant environment where wealth can thrive. By blending the joy factor with mindful presence, you forge a pathway that not only attracts money, but also enriches your life experience. A practical tip is to create a daily ritual focused on joy and awareness. Set aside a few moments each day dedicated to reflecting on what brings you joy, combined with a mindfulness practice. This doesn't have to take long. Just 5 to 10 minutes can make a difference. Over time, you will notice how this simple but profound practice increases your energetic vibe and enhances your natural ability to magnetize wealth. Chapter 8. Generosity, Gratitude, and Receiving. The energetic power of giving without attachment. Giving has a way of enriching not just the lives of those receiving, but also the givers themselves. When I first started exploring the concept of generosity, I was struck by how the act of sharing even small things, be it time, attention, or material possessions, came back to me manifold. It's like tossing a pebble into a pond and watching the ripples spread outwards. The energy we put into the universe through our acts of kindness often finds its way back into our lives. This cycle of giving and receiving is both simple and profound, reminding us that we are part of something greater. Reciprocity and generosity doesn't always manifest immediately or in tangible ways. Sometimes, it is a warm feeling of connection or a deeper sense of community that emerges. I've learned that generosity is not merely about the act itself. It's about acknowledging the unspoken bond that forms between people. When we give without expectation, we open the door for this beautiful exchange to take place, making our world richer with each act of kindness. One of the most powerful lessons I've discovered about giving is the significance of letting go. When I offer help or share something of mine, I remind myself that it is not mine to control. The moment I cling to expectations, whether they involve how the gift will be received or what I hope to gain in return, I weaken the very essence of the gift itself. True generosity flourishes only when I can release my attachments and allow things to unfold naturally. Understanding this principle of detachment doesn't diminish the value of my giving. Rather, it enhances it. It transforms my encounters into pure expressions of goodwill. I've come to appreciate that sometimes the best gifts I can offer are those given freely, with no strings attached. This freedom allows my spirit to soar and invites others to connect with me in genuine ways. Incorporating this practice of non-attachment into our acts of kindness can create a ripple effect, encouraging others to do the same. It fosters a culture of giving that is less about obligation and more about joy. The more we practice this, the more we discover that both giving and receiving become lighter, liberating us from the weight of expectations. A small yet potent tip is to set an intention each time you give. Wish for the well-being of the recipient without holding on to how that manifests, and watch the gifts of your spirit come back to you in unexpected ways. Gratitude as a wealth amplifier. Gratitude holds a powerful key within its simple practice. It's fascinating how acknowledging what we already have can shift our entire mindset about wealth. When I began to embrace gratitude, I noticed that my perspective changed in profound ways. Wealth isn't merely about the money in your bank account. It's about the richness of experiences, relationships, and opportunities that life presents. By shifting my focus to what I was thankful for, I found myself attracting more of what I desired. This amplification effect happens because gratitude raises our energy frequency. When we vibrate on a higher frequency, we resonate with abundance. It opens the door for opportunities to flow towards us, often unexpectedly. Instead of feeling lack or longing, we foster an energy of plenty, making us magnetically attractive to the abundance we seek. This is not just a spiritual idea. It's a reality that aligns with the principles of the law of attraction. Incorporating gratitude into my daily routine transformed the way I interact with the world. Simple rituals can cultivate a mindset that attracts abundance. Each morning, I take a moment to jot down 3 things I'm grateful for. This practice grounds me and sets a positive tone for the day ahead. Sometimes it's the warmth of a cup of coffee or the laughter of a friend. Other times, it's the sunshine breaking through the clouds. The key is to recognize and appreciate those small blessings. I also find great joy in expressing my gratitude to others. A heartfelt thank you can deepen connections and often results in unexpected returns of kindness. Before bed, reflecting on the day's events allows me to end my day with a sense of fulfillment, embracing the lessons learned and the moments enjoyed. These rituals can be personalized to fit any lifestyle, and making them regular practices invites a steady flow of abundance into our lives. Consistency in these acts of gratitude can enhance our wealth frequency dramatically, reinforcing our belief in the power of abundance. Embrace each day as an opportunity to recognize and amplify the wealth already present in your life. The art of receiving without guilt, fear, or resistance. Many of us walk through life with open hearts, yet we often find ourselves resisting the very gifts that flow towards us. This resistance often stems from deep-seated beliefs and fears, some of which we may not even recognize. Think back to a time when someone offered you something, whether it was a compliment, help, or even a gift. Did you find yourself brushing it off, feeling undeserving, or even guilty for accepting? These reactions highlight the internal blocks that keep us from embracing the abundance life has to offer. The societal narratives that condition us to think we must earn every bit of wealth and support create resistance. It's as if we believe that receiving assistance or kindness is a sign of weakness, rather than the beautiful interplay of connection and support. Open-heartedness requires shedding these outdated notions. Consider the value of allowing yourself to accept support or wealth effortlessly. Like inhaling fresh air, it's an act of recognizing your worthiness. Practicing worthiness shifts our mindset and cultivates an atmosphere where receiving becomes not just acceptable, but a joyful experience. One powerful technique is to start affirming your value in small ways. Every day, look into the mirror and speak kindly to yourself. You might say, "I am deserving of love and abundance." This simple act can rewrite the internal script many of us carry. Journaling can further enhance this practice. Write down moments when you received help or gifts, reflecting on the joy those experiences brought. Over time, you'll see a pattern, a beautiful reminder of your inherent worthiness. Another technique is gratitude. When you receive, practice saying thank you sincerely, not just to the giver, but also to yourself for being open to receive. By shifting your focus to appreciating what you have instead of feeling guilty or fearful about it, you create a natural flow of energy that welcomes more abundance. Imagine living in a world where receiving is as joyful as giving. With each step you take towards embracing your worth, you'll notice the world responds in kind. Remember, allowing yourself to receive is a profound act of self-love. Every time you accept a compliment or allow someone to help you, you are weaving the fabric of a more abundant life. Let this new belief shape your interactions, transforming how you perceive receiving and how the universe responds to you. Chapter 9. Becoming a money magnet. Integrating energy with aligned action. When we begin to understand the connection between our energy and the actions we take, we find ourselves standing on the threshold of transformation. It's like tuning a musical instrument. The notes it plays depend on its alignment. Similarly, when our thoughts, feelings, and intentions harmonize with the actions we undertake, we create a symphony of possibility. To achieve this convergence, we first need to cultivate awareness of our inner state. Are we moving through our day with a sense of purpose and clarity, or are we reacting to the chaos around us? Learning to tune into our energy can be as simple as pausing to breathe deeply and reflect on what we truly desire. Once we identify that physical action flows more naturally in alignment with our authentic self. It may take practice, but by observing our feelings, we can determine which actions strengthen our energetic alignment and which ones detract from it. Actions that come from an abundance mindset are not only about grand gestures. They often appear in everyday choices we make. For instance, consider the simple act of sharing your time or resources with others. When we give freely, we declare our belief in the universe's capacity to provide, both for ourselves and others. This openness creates a cycle of positive energy that encourages more opportunities and abundance to flow our way. Another example is setting goals that excite us without the weight of fear or limitation. Instead of focusing on scarcity, we can channel our energy into intentions that cultivate growth, whether that's pursuing a new career path, learning a skill, or embarking on a creative project. Every inspired step taken with joy and a sense of purpose reinforces our commitment to living abundantly, attracting more aligned opportunities that resonate with our true selves. Whether we are taking small or large steps, it is the energy with which we act that makes all the difference. To bring these insights into your daily life, make a conscious effort to check in with your energy before making decisions. Ask yourself if your choices align with your values and desires. A practical tip is to keep a journal where you can express your thoughts and feelings about your actions and their outcomes. This practice can help you discern patterns, reinforce positive actions, and shed those that feel misaligned. Over time, this will deepen your understanding of the intricate dance between energy and action, leading to a more fulfilling and abundant life. Living like someone who already feels wealthy. Living like someone who feels wealthy begins in the mind. It's not solely about the numbers in your bank account, but about cultivating a mindset that attracts abundance. I realized that wealth isn't just a matter of what we earn, but how we think and act. When I started to embody the mindset of the financially abundant, I noticed small changes in my everyday life. I began to see opportunities where I saw barriers before. Taking on a wealth-oriented mindset means letting go of scarcity thinking. Abundant people don't dwell on what they lack. They focus on what they can create and share. This shift is not always easy, but it's transformative. Picture yourself living fully in abundance. Envision how you'd feel, how you'd think, and how you'd make decisions. This simulation of wealth acts as a powerful tool. It aligns your actions and thoughts with the vibrational frequency of wealth, drawing real opportunities towards you. Adopting daily routines rooted in this mindset is essential. Mornings have become sacred for me. I spend those first moments setting intentions and expressing gratitude for what I already have. Gratitude is magnetic. It attracts more reasons to be grateful. I take time to visualize my goals, and while I do, I feel the emotions as if they are happening now. Affirmations play a huge role too. I've crafted affirmations reinforcing my beliefs in abundance and prosperity. This practice keeps my mind focused on growth rather than limitations. Additionally, I've made it a ritual to review my goals weekly. This ritual helps me remain anchored to my vision of wealth. I ask myself what steps I can take, however small, to align with that vision. It's about being proactive and decisive, traits that mirror those who naturally experience financial abundance. Every little action contributes to this wealth simulation, and it extends even to daily habits. For instance, I consciously choose to engage in conversations that uplift and inspire. I limit time spent with those who drain energy and focus instead on building connections with forward-thinking individuals. Being around like-minded people nurtures a spirit of collaboration and idea sharing, vital ingredients for wealth creation. It's also important to invest in self-care and personal growth, which translates into both mental and financial health. By treating myself with respect and investing in my well-being, I reinforce the belief that I deserve prosperity. On a practical level, I track my spending and saving habits, but instead of viewing it as a chore, I see it as a form of empowerment. Each conscious financial decision I make, including where I invest my time, shapes my reality. It reinforces the belief that I am capable of crafting my own abundance. Attracting opportunities, clients, and resources naturally. Attraction is a profound concept that goes beyond mere desire. It's a magnetic pull that comes from within. When I first began exploring the principles of attraction, I realized it stems from a deep understanding of who I am and what I truly seek. It's about energetically aligning myself with the opportunities that resonate with my values and goals. When we embrace our authentic selves, we naturally attract what we need. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds to the energy we emit, creating a seamless flow of opportunity, creativity, and abundance. The key is to cultivate clarity about our intentions and to remain open to the possibilities that might come our way. Imagine standing in a field of wildflowers, each bloom representing an opportunity ready to be noticed. When I learned to focus on my passions and strengths, I could discern which flowers or opportunities were meant for me. This involves a blend of self-awareness, gratitude, and trust in the process. By practicing mindfulness and remaining present, I connected with the rhythm of life, allowing opportunities to unfold naturally. Emphasizing positivity and gratitude not only amplifies our energy, but also signals to the universe that we are ready and deserving. Learning to let go of limiting beliefs and fears has been crucial. These heavy weights often cloud our ability to see the opportunities right in front of us. Releasing them opens the door to a more abundant reality. Networking doesn't have to feel like a forced exchange. It can flow effortlessly and genuinely. I discovered that cultivating meaningful relationships starts with an authentic desire to connect with others. Approaching people with genuine curiosity about their journeys not only enriches my own experience, but creates a supportive network where opportunities can thrive. When I shift my focus from what I can gain to what I can give, I find my interactions become more fulfilling. Sharing knowledge, lending a hand, or simply listening can forge strong bonds that lead to unexpected opportunities. The essence of meaningful connections lies in the sincerity behind them, transforming networking from a transactional encounter into an enriching experience. Embracing fellowship and collaboration is central to this approach. I began attending workshops and community events, not with the intent to sell or promote myself, but to learn from others. This shift in mindset allowed me to create a natural ebb and flow of ideas and resources. I often found that engaging in activities aligned with my interests not only nurtured my talents, but also placed me amidst like-minded people. Cultivating connections takes time, patience, and a willingness to invest in relationships, but the rewards extend beyond just potential clients or resources. Those relationships blossom into mutual support, encouragement, and shared growth. Sharing our journeys in an open and vulnerable way invites others to do the same, creating a deeper sense of connection and trust. As you explore the art of attraction and networking, remember that the most profound connections often begin with a simple act of kindness or a shared experience. Being present, genuine, and open creates a fertile ground where opportunities can flourish. Every interaction has the potential to lead to something greater, so approach your relationships with an open heart and a spirit of generosity. Chapter 10. Embodying Wealth Consciousness. This is not just about getting rich, it's about being rich. Wealth is often seen through the lens of money, the cars we drive, the homes we own, and the vacations we take. However, my journey has taught me that true wealth is much deeper and more fulfilling than this superficial view. It's about the experiences we gather, the relationships we cherish, and the impact we have on the world. I've learned to redefine what being rich means to me. It's about cultivating a sense of abundance in all areas of life. When we broaden our understanding of wealth, we start to realize that richness can come from nurturing our creativity, investing time in personal growth, and opening our hearts to the experiences that life has to offer. The more we recognize these aspects, the more we truly embody richness in our lives. As I began to shift my focus from accumulating things to appreciating what truly matters, I felt a profound shift in my energy. Wealth is not just what you have, it's who you are and the value you bring to the world around you. This understanding came as a breath of fresh air. I started to embrace the idea that wealth can also mean living in alignment with your purpose, feeling connected to your community, and having the freedom to express yourself authentically. Those moments when you share laughter with friends or feel the warmth of helping someone in need are, in essence, the true treasures of life. One of the most transformative shifts I experienced was the change in my identity. I learned that to be truly wealthy, I not only needed to think differently about money, but I also had to see myself in a new light. Embracing an abundance mindset meant letting go of limiting beliefs that had quietly dictated my thoughts and actions. Instead of believing that resources are scarce, I began to understand that there is enough for everyone, and this realization set me free. It opened up a world of possibilities that I had once overlooked. I felt more deserving of success, love, and happiness. When you start to view your life through this lens of abundance, everything changes. Opportunities begin to arise, and you attract what you truly believe you deserve. This mindset shift is not about ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that challenges are part of growth, and that abundance is not only about what you gather, but also about what you give. Becoming rich is rooted in sharing knowledge, resources, and support with others. It's a cycle that keeps giving back. I find it empowering to reach out, to collaborate, and to elevate those around me. In doing so, I embody the richness that I wish to see in the world. A great tip I can share is to take a moment each day to reflect on your blessings, big or small. This practice is a grounding technique that helps reinforce an abundance mindset, reminding us that wealth is much more than just currency. It's the richness of our day-to-day experiences and connections. How to hold more money without fear or sabotage. Fear often creeps in when it comes to handling more money. It's as if we suddenly feel the weight of not only our dreams, but also our responsibilities. Acknowledging this fear is the first step toward mastering our emotions. I remember a time when I found myself in a similar situation. I had reached a financial milestone, yet I felt paralyzed by anxiety. Connecting with this emotion helped me understand it wasn't just about money, but my own self-worth and the pressure I imposed on myself. One technique I found useful was visualization. Taking a moment to envision myself embracing abundance, rather than shying away from it, transformed my relationship with money. We should create a mental image of our financial success as a comforting presence rather than a daunting challenge. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. Engaging in meditation or simple breathing exercises whenever feelings of fear arise can ground us in the present moment. I learned to observe my thoughts as they floated by, acknowledging the fear without judgment, then allowing it to dissipate. Affirmations can also be a beacon of hope. Phrases like "I am worthy of abundance" or "money flows to me easily and effortlessly" have been instrumental as I built a new narrative around money in my life. These small yet mighty shifts in perception turn fear into a catalyst for growth rather than a shackle holding me back. Resilience is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes. When it comes to wealth, cultivating this strength is crucial to avoid that instinctual urge to self-sabotage. I quickly realized that a crucial part of building resilience was surrounding myself with individuals who lifted me up and inspired me to thrive. Listening to their stories and witnessing their journeys reinforced my determination to succeed. Alongside this, I committed to educating myself about money management. Gaining knowledge instills confidence, and with that confidence, I learned to trust myself to make informed decisions about my finances. Embracing a mindset of abundance changed the way I viewed challenges. Instead of seeing an obstacle as a threat, I began to see it as an opportunity for learning and growth. I often remind myself that setbacks are not failures, but stepping stones toward my financial goals. Each time I faced adversity, I chose to respond with curiosity and tenacity, which became the foundation of my resilience. Additionally, reflecting on past successes, no matter how small, helped remind me of my capabilities and the strength I possess to navigate through the waters of wealth. Finally, maintaining a gratitude practice centered around money serves as a powerful anchor. Acknowledging and appreciating even the smallest financial wins reinforces a sense of security and opens the door for more abundance in my life. Consider integrating these practices into your daily routine. Whether it's through affirmations, mindfulness, or building a supportive community, every small effort counts. Embrace the journey with openness and allow yourself to grow into the wealth you deserve. From survival to overflow, a new identity. In my journey towards self-discovery, I realized that many of us live within a story dictated by fear and limitation, a narrative built on a survivalist mindset. We often focus on what we lack rather than what we possess. Surviving means grappling with scarcity, constantly worrying about tomorrow and how to make ends meet. However, with small shifts in perspective, we can rewrite that story, transitioning from simply surviving to truly thriving. It starts with acknowledging that our thoughts shape our reality. I began practicing gratitude, not just as a fleeting exercise, but as a deep practice, a daily commitment to appreciate the abundance present in my life. This meant shifting my focus away from what was missing and embracing an attitude that celebrated what I had. Each day, I would write down 3 things for which I was grateful. It became a powerful ritual that transformed my perception. The more I acknowledged my blessings, the more I felt them multiply. I also learned to challenge the limiting beliefs that had been ingrained in me. By questioning those negative thoughts and replacing them with affirmations of growth and potential, I slowly began to feel a sense of liberation from the chains of scarcity. Embracing a mindset of overflow means letting go of the old identities that no longer serve us. I had to toss aside the labels of not enough and always struggling, and instead embrace the identity of someone who welcomes abundance. This wasn't just a mental shift, it required embodiment. I started surrounding myself with people who had a growth mindset, those who looked at challenges as opportunities and celebrated everyone's successes, including mine. It became evident that our identities are often shaped by who we connect with and how we regard our journeys. When I aligned with those who celebrated abundance, I naturally began to reflect that vibrancy. Additionally, I incorporated practices that nourished my spirit and fostered a sense of abundance. This included meditative moments focused on abundance visualization. I would sit quietly, close my eyes, and envision a life overflowing with possibilities. Every detail mattered, from the feelings of joy to the colors I could see in my imagination. I discovered that creating this mental imagery brought an unexpected shift in my everyday life. The spiritual aspect played a fundamental role. I began to cultivate trust in the universe, understanding that what I put out energetically would return to me tenfold. By stepping into this new identity of overflow, I noticed changes not only in my mindset, but also in my surrounding circumstances and relationships. Start nurturing your new identity by recognizing and celebrating small victories, regardless of how insignificant they may seem. Keep a journal dedicated to your growth and abundance journey. Write down moments when you felt truly fulfilled or proud. Over time, this will help solidify your new narrative of overflow. Your wealth is already within you. A closing letter to the reader. Your potential for wealth is not something you need to chase. It has always been within you, waiting patiently to be acknowledged and embraced. Every thought you've nurtured and every effort you've made, all those moments of doubt and determination, have been paving the way for you to unlock this innate abundance. We often look outside ourselves for validation or guidance when the greatest source of wealth isn't hidden in a textbook or whispered by a mentor. It resides in your very essence. As you cultivate a mindset of belief and gratitude, you will begin to see doors opening, opportunities beckoning, and relationships deepening. The moment you recognize that you are deserving of this wealth is the moment you will start to attract it, like a magnet drawing in all that aligns with your true self. Embrace the awareness that every step you take is connected, weaving together the fabric of your life. Understanding that the realization of your potential is a journey means you can be gentle with yourself. Remember, the universe reacts to your energy and intentions. As you continue this journey, allow your reflections to guide you and your inner wealth to shine brightly. When you focus on your growth and maintain a spirit of gratitude, you attract abundance beyond measure. Consider setting aside moments each day for personal reflection. Write down your thoughts or meditate on your experiences. These practices help to keep your vision clear and your heart open. You've always been enough. Now it's time to feel it. Self-acceptance is a powerful journey, one where we realize that within us lies an inherent worthiness. It can often feel like we are chasing some elusive standard of being enough, but the truth is, we are born enough. Each of us carries a unique light, a blend of strengths and vulnerabilities that contributes to the rich tapestry of existence. When I came to understand this, it was as if the chains of self-doubt began to loosen. I learned that I didn't have to prove myself through achievements or seek validation through external means. My presence alone is a gift. Recognizing our worth allows us to tap into abundance, which is not just about material wealth, but also includes love, joy, and opportunities. Just as the universe is filled with resources waiting to be embraced, we hold within us the capacity to attract all that we desire when we truly believe we deserve it. Living in alignment with the belief that we are enough means nurturing a connection to our true selves in every aspect of our lives. It begins with the small things, mindfully acknowledging our daily choices, the words we speak to ourselves, and the company we keep. I found that when I prioritized being present, my perception of self shifted. Each moment became an opportunity to affirm my worth. Practicing gratitude helped in this journey. When I focused on what I have rather than what I lack, the abundance around me became undeniable. Deepening this connection also involves setting healthy boundaries, allowing ourselves to step away from people or situations that drain our energy. It's essential to surround ourselves with those who uplift us and reflect the respect we deserve. Engaging in practices like meditation or journaling fosters self-reflection, where we can explore our feelings and thoughts about self-worth. The more we focus on these practices, the more aligned we become with our inherent worth, gradually embodying the truth that we have always been enough. Start by acknowledging one good thing about yourself each day. This simple act can shift your mindset and reinforce the belief in your innate worthiness. Allow yourself to embrace those small victories, letting them serve as stepping stones in your journey toward deeper self-acceptance and abundance. The final invitation: stop chasing money. Start becoming the version of you who naturally attracts it. There comes a moment in everyone's life when the chase for money feels relentless. It consumes you, and no matter how hard you try, it seems to slip further away. I realized one day that I was caught in this very cycle, a rat race fueled by anxiety and scarcity. The truth is, like many others, I was so busy running after money that I forgot to cultivate the essence of abundance within myself. The shift from chasing to attracting is not just a change in strategy, it's a profound transformation in mindset. It's about understanding that money, like any form of energy, comes to those who embody the frequency of abundance. Instead of desperately seeking it, I started to focus on attracting it by embodying the confidence and positivity that naturally draws wealth to me. I learned to let go of fear and scarcity. Instead of worrying about where the next dollar would come from, I began to hold a vision of what it would feel like to be wealthy, not just in monetary terms, but in happiness, health, and fulfillment. This internal shift opened doors I didn't even know existed. People started to notice my change in demeanor. Opportunities seemed to emerge out of nowhere, as if the universe was responding to my newfound energy. The key is to desire abundance for the joy of it, not as a measure of self-worth. I started practicing gratitude daily, embracing a mindset of abundance that radiated outwards, drawing positive financial energy back toward me. Taking the leap from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance requires us to envision our best selves. I spent time imagining the qualities I admired in others who effortlessly attracted wealth. They seemed grounded, confident, and genuinely happy. I asked myself, what would my life look like if I were that version of myself? It was more than just about having money. It was about becoming the person who wouldn't be fazed by financial ups and downs. Adopting new habits became paramount in this journey. I replaced late nights of endless worry over finances with mornings dedicated to meditation and self-care. I started journaling about my dreams as if they were already reality, allowing me to rewrite my money stories with a positive brush. I focused on personal growth, surrounding myself with positive influences, and sought out knowledge on wealth creation. This reflective practice helped me build the traits that would naturally attract success. I began to make decisions based on alignment with my values rather than fear. Investing in myself became my priority, realizing that the best investment is nurturing my mind, body, and spirit. With each step towards becoming my best self, I witnessed a magnetic pull towards abundance. Friendships deepened, opportunities multiplied, and financial resources became abundant in ways I hadn't expected. The universe, I learned, meets us at the level of our self-belief. The more I invested in my growth, the more it mirrored back to me in every aspect of my life, especially in my relationship with money, allowing me to attract it effortlessly. As you navigate your own journey towards attracting abundance, remember that money is merely a mirror of our inner beliefs. Cultivate a genuine love for yourself and an unshakable belief in your worth, and watch how the world begins to respond. Set intentions, embody the spirit of who you aspire to be, and take consistent action toward your goals. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, living authentically and passionately, money becomes a natural byproduct of that alignment. Take a deep breath. You've just remembered what the world tried to make you forget. You are not here to chase. You are here to attract. Not because you've worked the hardest, but because you've finally chosen to believe you're already enough. Money is no longer your master. It's your mirror, reflecting the energy you hold, the story you tell, and the worth you embody. From this moment on, don't ask, how do I make more? Ask, who am I becoming? Because when you shift from fear to alignment, from scarcity to expansion, money doesn't just show up, it flows. You are a magnet. You are a creator. And the most powerful currency you'll ever carry is your energy. This book isn't an ending. It's an activation. So stop chasing. Start becoming. And remember, your wealth is already within you. With love from Mindful Literary.